He wrote on everything. He has papers everywhere. This says, it's the priorities. It says family, children, legacy, kids number one.
When I'm looking at this does not look like an adult writing anything. To me, this is just insane to say that this is the same person writing this.
You're sick. He's a human being.
Museum style for our Charlie, for my Charlie.
Everyone wants an answer to this evil. And sometimes the answer is very clear.
Charlie Kirk's sister Mary just stepped into the spotlight and dropped a bombshell. She says Erika Kirk has been straight up lying about him. According to Mary, the Valentine's Day letter Erika posted was not even written by Charlie Kirk at all. She claims Erika may have written that sweet little note herself and tried to pass it off as if it came from him. That is a wild accusation, and it instantly changed the vibe of the whole story. When people first saw that letter, many already felt like something was off. The handwriting does not match Charlie Kirk's, not even close. And once you actually read the words, the letter is loaded with praise for Erika Kirk, almost like it was crafted to polish her image. It feels staged, like it was written for the public rather than from the heart. On top of that, Erika tried to bring the same Sabbath narrative back into the mix again, even though it had nothing to do with the letter. That move had people raising their eyebrows big time.
His phone Friday night, Shabbat Shalom, throw it in the junk drawer, and he would come in, open the junk drawer. Everyone has a junk drawer. Open the junk drawer, said Shabbat Shalom, put it in there, turn the phone off, slam the door. And on Friday night when he would get home from work, he would turn off his phone and he would shove it in the junk drawer and he would say, Shabbat Shalom.
Now even more details are surfacing, and it gets messier. Reports claim Charlie Kirk had been planning to divorce Erika Kirk. He was allegedly sleeping in a separate room and had stopped wearing his wedding ring, which says a lot. There is also talk that Charlie Kirk discovered a life insurance policy had been taken out on him without his knowledge. If that is true, that is serious and deeply unsettling. When you stack it all together, the alleged marriage troubles, the questionable life insurance policy, his sudden passing, and then Erika Kirk stepping into the CEO role, the timing feels extremely tight. It is the kind of chain reaction that makes people stop and ask, what was really happening behind closed doors?
Erika Kirk, right? Her character.
And that's the goal for writing us, right? No. You did, and he was taken so early. Parents are private. You did, and he was taken so.
Even if nothing has been proven, the sequence of events alone has people side-eyeing the entire situation. Recently, Erika Kirk shared what she claims is the last love letter Charlie Kirk ever gave her. The moment it hit social media, people started analyzing it closely. The handwriting does not appear to match Charlie Kirk's at all. The tone of the message does not even sound like his voice. It feels different, almost like it was written with an audience in mind rather than for one person. That alone sparked a wave of doubt. With all the other drama surrounding Erika Kirk and Turning Point, including the alleged lies and reported tension, it is no surprise people are questioning this as well. So let's break down exactly what Erika posted. It is a handwritten letter she uploaded to Instagram, claiming Charlie Kirk wrote it specifically for her. That claim is exactly what has everyone talking. First, one thing stands out immediately: the handwriting is messy and very difficult to read. Some lines look rushed, like someone was scribbling in a hurry. The parts that are legible are filled with non-stop praise. In the letter, Charlie Kirk supposedly calls Erika an amazing and talented mother and continues expressing how much he loves her. It includes lines such as, "I love you so much and I can't wait to see what adventures lie ahead of us," and, "I adore you beyond words. Thank you for being such an amazing wife to me." The overall vibe is full romance, full admiration, no breaks. Then Erika Kirk adds her own note in the caption, reminding everyone to honor the Sabbath with their loved ones. At first glance, it seems sweet. But once you slow down and really examine what was posted, it starts to feel less like a private note and more like something meant to sell a picture-perfect story. We are being told this is Charlie Kirk's handwriting, yet several details look unusual. The lowercase letters are almost the same size as the uppercase ones. The spacing is inconsistent. Some words are jammed together while others are stretched far apart. There are also multiple grammatical mistakes, and the overall appearance looks rushed and chaotic, as if it were put together quickly. Because of that, people online began comparing the letter to other known samples of Charlie Kirk's handwriting. When placed side by side, many claim the writing does not match at all.
This does not look like an adult writing anything. Right? There's too many grammatical errors, and it is messy. But again, if we go over and we look at Charlie's writing, if we go over here and we look at Charlie's writing, I can easily make out every letter. The D clearly has all the pieces that you need for it. Although even here, it looks like it was an A with a line above it or something weird, but you can make out every letter in this. Brendan Maga. But to me, this Brendan Maga in the signature, and the fact that I can make out every single letter clearly and easily. Now, again, this might be manuscript and not cursive, but his cursive, I mean, this to me, this is just insane to say that this is the same person writing this. But the more I look at this, the more this looks like someone else trying to write messy. And even the CK here with a loop around it and the heart, that doesn't even seem to match the stuff up above for who wrote it.
When those handwriting samples were placed next to each other, the differences jumped out immediately. In Charlie's verified writing, the letters look more controlled. The spacing is cleaner, and the overall style feels consistent. The Valentine's letter, however, looks uneven and shaky, almost like someone was trying to copy a vibe instead of writing naturally. That contrast is exactly what set social media off. Some people pointed out how certain letters in Charlie's known writing have a specific shape and rhythm, but in the posted letter, those same letters look completely different. The slant changes, the size shifts randomly, and the structure just does not flow the same way. For many people watching this unfold, that was enough to spark serious doubt. And once doubt creeps in, it spreads quickly. Instead of focusing on how romantic the message was supposed to be, the entire conversation flipped. Now it is less about sweet words and more about authenticity. Was this really a private love note, or was it something crafted to paint a certain picture? That question is what keeps this story heating up, and it is not cooling down anytime soon. Now here is the part that really makes people uneasy. Even if Charlie truly wrote that letter, why share it with the whole world? Why post something with messy handwriting and obvious mistakes for everyone to pick apart? Some people feel like it almost lowers the way he is remembered, as if it chips away at his image instead of honoring it. That is what has critics whispering right now. But then there is the other possibility, and this is where it gets even more intense. What if Erika wrote the letter herself? If that is the case, people start asking, what is the goal here? Is it about convincing the public that Erika was the great love of Charlie's life? That their marriage was flawless and unbreakable? Because the timing is raising eyebrows. This letter pops up right after Erika caught heat for removing the wedding photo from Charlie's office. That is not a small detail, and people noticed it quickly. To many watching from the outside, this feels like damage control, a carefully placed emotional post to shift the narrative and soften the criticism. But it does not stop there. More claims are surfacing, and they paint a very different picture of what was happening behind closed doors. One insider who says they are close to Charlie's sister, Mary, claims Charlie had opened up to his sisters about wanting a divorce. That is a serious statement, and it flips the fairy tale image upside down. The same source alleges that Charlie and Erika sold their Arizona home last year and had already started living separately before his passing. On top of that, this insider insists the marriage was nowhere near as perfect as it looked online. If even part of that is true, then the polished image on social media tells a very different story than real life. Online, the image was clean, smiling photos, big speeches, public praise, the whole power couple look. But behind the scenes, insiders are hinting at distance, tension, and major cracks in the foundation. That contrast is what has people talking non-stop. There are also reports saying Charlie had stopped wearing his wedding ring before his passing. That might sound small to some, but to others, that is a loud signal. People do not usually take off their ring for no reason, especially someone whose marriage is constantly showcased in public. Add that to the claims of separate living arrangements, and suddenly the perfect marriage narrative starts to wobble. Then you circle back to the life insurance policy rumor, the one that was allegedly taken out without him knowing. That detail alone has made people deeply uncomfortable. No one is making official accusations. But the combination of all these details, the rumored divorce plans, separate living, the missing ring, the policy, and the sudden leadership transition, has created a cloud of suspicion that is hard to ignore. Right now, it is all allegations and insider claims. But the questions are getting louder, and the public is no longer just accepting the polished version of events. According to insiders, there were serious arguments happening behind closed doors. They claim Charlie had started feeling like Erika had changed, like she was not the same person he married. The source says he felt she had switched up and was acting completely different. That kind of shift can shake any relationship, especially one constantly in the public eye. The insider also shared that Charlie's sister, Mary, never fully connected with Erika. They say Mary never really warmed up to her and that Erika and her sister-in-law had very little in common. That might sound minor on the surface, but family tension can run deep, and when it does, it usually signals something bigger underneath. Now here is where it gets even more intense. Another source close to Turning Point claims that in the months leading up to Charlie's passing, Erika was already stepping into his CEO role. They say she was moving as if he were already on his way out, taking on responsibilities and positioning herself at the forefront. That detail has definitely made people look twice at the timeline.
Time Erika got involved in a Turning Point event, something felt off. People got pulled from their posts for no clear reason, replaced with names nobody recognized. What most people don't realize is that Erika had already started acting like CEO before Charlie even died. She was giving orders, making executive calls, speaking for the organization in ways that made all of us uncomfortable. Charlie would try to intervene and she'd just talk over him, like he didn't even matter.
Then there are the public moments that did not sit right. There was that awkward clip where Charlie asked Erika about their wedding date, and she froze. She could not remember how long they had been married, then brushed it off by saying there were too many dates to remember. It felt uncomfortable to watch.
Easy. How long have you been married, and when did you know it was time to get married?
We've been married since 2021. We laugh about this because our dates are so messed up because of babies. Meaning, there's so many dates to remember.
This one's easy. How long have you been married, and when did you know it was time to get married? We've been married since 2021. We laugh about this because our dates are so messed up because of the babies. There are just so many dates to remember. Each piece alone might seem small. But when you line up the letter drama, the divorce rumors, the house sale, the leadership shift, and moments like that on camera, it builds a picture that feels very different from the polished image everyone was shown. And that is why people are not letting this go. When a public relationship looks picture perfect online, but then little cracks start showing, people pay attention. The smiles, the speeches, the sweet captions, all of it starts to feel rehearsed once doubt creeps in. It makes people wonder what was real and what was just for the cameras. Supporters of Erika say all of this is unfair speculation. They argue that grief looks different for everyone and that stepping into a leadership role after a tragedy does not automatically mean anything suspicious. That is a fair point. It is important to remember that allegations are not proof. At the same time, critics say the timing of everything feels too convenient to ignore. That tension between sympathy and suspicion is exactly why this story keeps gaining traction. The biggest issue now is trust. Once the public starts questioning authenticity, every post, every interview, every old clip gets re-examined. The Valentine's letter is no longer just a romantic note. It has turned into a symbol of a much bigger debate about what was really happening behind closed doors. Reports have surfaced claiming that in 2023, a massive life insurance policy was taken out on Charlie through a company that was reportedly dissolved just months before his passing. The yearly premiums were said to be $350,000, and the alleged payout to Erika could fall somewhere between $20 million and $50 million. That is life-changing money. An auditor named Brian Ferris reviewed Turning Point's public tax documents and pointed out that an LLC called GGLF was paying those premiums. The filings are public record, so people can see the payments. However, the identity of whoever collected the payout is private. Many assume it would go to Erika, which would be logical in a typical marriage situation. But it is the timeline that has people raising eyebrows. The LLC that reportedly covered those premium payments was dissolved on September 7, 2025, just 3 days before Charlie's passing. That detail alone has fueled intense online speculation. Social media users also claim that in mid-2024, Turning Point sent $350,000 to that same LLC, which they believe went toward covering the insurance premiums. None of this confirms wrongdoing, but the sequence of events has definitely intensified public scrutiny. A high-dollar policy, huge annual premiums, an LLC handling the payments, then that same LLC shutting down just days before his passing. For critics online, that sequence feels too precise to ignore. To be clear, having life insurance is not unusual. Many executives and public figures carry large policies, especially if they run major organizations. Companies sometimes structure policies through LLCs for business reasons. That alone is not proof of anything. But when you combine it with divorce rumors, reports of separate living arrangements, leadership changes, and public image questions, people start connecting dots quickly. Some reports describe it as a split-dollar life insurance policy, meaning Turning Point covers the premiums, gets reimbursed after Charlie passes, and whatever money is left goes to the beneficiary, which many assume would be Erika. That structure can be legal in business settings, but in this situation, critics are calling it extremely suspicious because of the timing and the massive payout involved. The big questions are not going away. Did Charlie personally approve this policy, or was it arranged on his behalf? And was it taken out without him fully knowing the details? There are no confirmed answers, only public speculation. When you put everything together, the possibly staged love letter, the divorce rumors, claims that Charlie's family kept their distance from Erika, the leadership shift, the public moments critics found odd, and now this enormous insurance policy. It creates a storm of red flags that people cannot ignore. If even some of these details are accurate, it raises serious questions about what has not been fully explained.